Yes, you like Linux Mint. You love Linux Mint. But what puts you off Linux Mint? Well, it's usually based on the previous LTS edition of Ubuntu, which at this point, 22.04, might be feeling it's a bit long on the tooth. It is already the year 2024, and you've just bought a new PC. What do? Well, in your mind, you'd think, oh, well, Linux Mint is horribly updated. It's probably has a 5.15 kernel. And to a point, you wouldn't be completely wrong. If you were to go to the website and you were to look at 21.3 Virginia and you were to scroll around, you'd probably get the impression that it's a little bit outdated at this point. I mean, you might think that. But would you believe that if you had installed it and upgraded it, you would have gotten newer components? I suppose that sounds logical, but I mean, just checking on the website, it looks like it's got the 5.15 kernel, right? And you go, oh no, that's not going to work on my new machine. Well, I had the exact same problem you might have. And out of the box now, if you look at my setup, you'll see I'm running Mint 21.3 with kernel 6.50, using my NVIDIA chipset and relatively newer kernel and newer packages. So what magic is this? Well, I could have A, downloaded this, struggled to get it installed because of my hardware, or thank goodness, Linux Mint has something called the Edge ISOs. So what the Edge ISOs is basically an updated ISO with newer packages. So basically what they've done is they've gone ahead and released new ISOs of Mint 21.3, but they've gone ahead and shipped it with the newer kernel 6.5 precise, a couple of other newer packages, and that way they have gone ahead and released the ISO image, which of course you can go ahead and download it. So here's a great comparison between the two. 5.15, 6.5. Now, why didn't they use kernel 6.1 and why didn't they use kernel 6.6, 6.7? Look, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. All that I suspect is that probably the next edition of Mint is too far away in the future. But let me tell you, on my hardware with my NVIDIA graphics card and all that stuff, this is one of the few distros I can get working out the box where I can have the joys of having an Ubuntu base without the agony that is snap packages at times. So I've gone ahead and installed this, and looking around, there isn't really too much to show you. So starting off, of course, Nemo is on 6.02, and out of the box, Nemo looking pretty normal, really. No drastic changes to it, if all we're honest here. If we go on again, so we accessories, it's the normal software packages that we've come to learn and love from Linux Mint. Right, graphics, of course, nothing too much there. Internet, transmission, web apps, Office, LibreOffice Writer, and if we check the version, we are running a version 7.3.7.2, so pretty newish version there as well. And of course sound, I have of course had to install OBS to record this. Hypnotic accelerator in the box. Administration on my side, of course, with my graphics card that I'm using, which is a 4700 Ti. I've just gone ahead and of course using the 535 driver, only because in the past I've had issues with 535. But again, simple, easy to use. Picked it up, just had to select it and restart my machine. System monitor wise, of course, CPU usage really pretty low. My memory usage was a little high, but it's doing a couple of things in the background, and really not too worried about how much space it's used. It's really only used about 18.2 gigs, which is in today's terms nothing. And then the rest of the stuff, of course, you've got your general preferences. always more exciting. The system settings, of course, again, hasn't really changed too much if we're pretty honest about things, which is sometimes a good advantage to running something like Mint, for the simple fact of you don't have to worry about too many changes coming with your machine. And of course, if you see here, for now I'm still using X11, but they do have prototype support for Wayland and Cinnamon coming along. So, question might be, how do I find it? Well, actually pretty good. I find that the App Store, or Software Manager for lack of a better word, definitely seems to be faster now. And of course, great, we've got Flatpaks pre-enabled, and of course pre-enabled for FlatHub. As you can see here immediately, it shows you which apps are FlatHub, which ones aren't, and of course which browsers, etc. So if I wanted to install a different browser, I can, and just hit install, tell me what it's going to change, click continue, and it installs. Yes, I know, the GNOME store and Ubuntu store and all these other stores and the Discover store, you can do the same thing, have them connected to FlatHub, but it's nice to have it already pre-done. And I must admit, this is one of the few app stores where I don't find the machine freezing when I try to install a Flatpak package from the GUI. If I do it from the CLI on the machine, I don't generally have an issue. But you know what, sometimes after a hard day's worth of work, it's sometimes nice to use a machine and not have to jump into the CLI. While that continues to run, the rest of everything else is really pretty much unchanged, including the welcome screen, still taking you through the first steps, updating manager, system settings, the software manager. Documentation is still pretty cool. The nice thing here, of course, telling us that of the newer features that was released in Virginia, which of course came out not too long ago. And of course, if you're wondering, this will be supported until 2027 and should be, I believe, a pretty easy-ish upgrade to the next version of Mint when it comes out. And of course here you've still got your release notes and documentation, which Mint's documentation in recent times has really improved quite a bit. Like even just installing multimedia codecs is just really so simple, it's not even funny, which is really, really nice these days, not like in the old days. And we've minimized that, and of course you can see Flip is installed, which is pretty great. And of course here you don't have to restart your environment, you can just open it, go to Flip or whatever application, and of course it is loaded, which is actually really nice and really beneficial. So I suppose, folks, this video is basically, if you're putting something newer together, don't worry about it being slightly outdated. You can just use one of these newer ISOs of Mint and be up and running as always. Folks, let me know what you think. As always, thanks for watching and bye for now.